Okay, so in the last lecture we took an example where the given signal was neither even nor odd. So in that case we can split up into even part and odd part of the given signal, and then we obtained the Fourier series. And this lecture is simply continuation of the previous lecture. Sorry, let me consider the same signal. Okay, so let's say the waveform is like this, but now this waveform is applied to a circuit like this. Applied to an electrical circuit. This is x of t, and this x of t is given as an input to the circuit, where you have resistor R and parallel with the capacitor C, and just take the output across the capacitor. And the voltage across the capacitor is taken to be the output voltage. So we will imagine that the peak value of this half wave rectified sine wave is the previous lecture we said A. Now let us say it is 100 volts. This is half wave rectified voltage. Okay. Now this voltage is applied across the RC circuit, and we are interested in finding out the significant harmonics both in the input and output voltage. So the problem is find the amplitude of the significant harmonics in Vi and V0. Okay, now let us assume the C is equal to 15.9 microfarad and R is equal to 100 ohm, and frequency, angular frequency omega naught is equal to 100 pi. Therefore 2 pi f naught is equal to 100 pi, which implies f naught is equal to 50 hertz. Okay, the fundamental frequency is 50 hertz. Now look at the input waveform. This is the input waveform, and basically this waveform is not in sinusoidal form. Even though it has sine shape, it is not a complete sinusoidal. So we cannot apply straight away the phasor methods for calculating the output voltage. On the other hand, the Fourier series tells us that such an input voltage can be decomposed into a number of sinusoids. That's what we discussed in the previous lecture. So for each one of the sinusoidal components, we can find out the corresponding output using phasor methods and superpose all the solutions to obtain the output. So in the problem like this, we are only interested in knowing the magnitudes of harmonic components in the output voltage V0. So for each harmonic, we apply the phasor notation and phasor algebra. Now we know that the input can be expressed by means of Fourier series using the result that we have obtained in the previous example. Okay, I mean in the previous lecture. So in the previous lecture we have considered just this kind of wave, half wave rectified sine waves. Okay, so the expansion is x of t. Let x of Vi of t is equal to x of t. Just to indicate voltage, this x of t is voltage and it is input. That's why I put Vi of t. Okay, therefore Vi of t is equal to 100 by pi plus 50 times sine omega naught t minus 200 times 3 pi sine of is it 3 omega naught t, right? 3 omega naught t minus 200 by 15 pi 5 omega naught t, and so on so forth. The other terms which we ignored here, right? For each one of this, we would like to find the corresponding output quantity. First, apply this guy to the circuit. Okay, the circuit has a resistor and a capacitor, and then find the output. And then you take this guy, again apply to the same circuit and find the output, and take this guy and apply to the same circuit like this. So you have n number of inputs. Similarly, you have n number of outputs. So what we are trying to say is, if you add all the inputs, then the output will be equal to summation of the corresponding outputs. That's what we are trying to say. We are basically applying the superposition principle, additivity and homogeneity. Okay, now to do that, let us we must find the output voltage to the input voltage ratio as a function of frequency. We need to know the relation between V naught of t and VA of t. VA of t already we have given here. That is V of t. Now we need to express V naught of t in terms of VI of t. This VI of t is given by using Fourier series. So that is given to us. Now let us find the relation. So if you recall from the previous lectures, the output V naught of t is equal to h of j omega times Vi of t. Recall this. Now where h of j omega is the frequency response of the system and this is given by the ratio of the output divided by ratio of the input. Like this. This is V naught of t and this is Vi of t. What is Vi of t? Vi of t is equal to, let's say the current flowing through this is I. Let's say I of it's a AC current. So I don't know whether this is covered in the networks course. Let me write it is a function of omega. Let me write I of S, and this is 1 by SC and this is R. So V I of, no, either if you write down the frequency domain, I don't know. Okay, so let me explain here and now what is there. Now this is output divided by input. Now you take the circuit, okay, and this is in the transform domain, it is V naught of S and this is Vi of S. If you take the transform domain, this is S and this is 1 by SC, and current flowing through the circuit is I of S. Therefore Vi of S is equal to R times I of S, resistance times current times resistance, plus 1 by SC is the impedance offered by the capacitor. Therefore I of S times 1 by SC. So this I can write I of S times R times 1 by SC. This is Vi of S. Now what is V naught of S? The voltage drop across the capacitor, that is I of S times 1 by SC. Now you take the ratio H of S equal to I of S times 1 by SC whole divided by I of S times R by 1 by SC. Okay. Now this I of S and that I of S will get cancelled. So that is your H of S. So now substitute H of S equal to 1 by SC, you take your SC commonly here, then it becomes 1 plus 1 plus S times RC hold on 1 second. So 1 by SC times 1 by R plus 1 by SC. Like this, you take this SC inside. 1 plus RCS plus SC will get cancelled 1. So this is 1 by 1 plus S times RC. That is for H of S. Now substitute S equal to J omega, then H of J omega is equal to 1 by 1 plus, replace S by J, J omega RC. Okay, that's it. So this is a general system function, okay, or frequency response function for a particular omega. But we are interested in evaluating this for particular values of omega, which are omega naught, then 2 omega naught, not 2 omega naught, 3 omega naught, and then 5 omega naught, and so on and so forth. And what is omega naught here? Omega naught is equal to 100 pi. Okay, consequently we will find out that instead of single omega, I have h of n times omega naught. Therefore 1 over 1 plus j times n omega naught RC. Okay, now substitute omega naught, R value and C value is given, R value is given, and omega naught value is given. If you substitute all the values, then it becomes 1 plus j times phi n. So this is my h of j n omega naught. It is a function of omega. So in particular, we are interested in only in the amplitudes of the harmonics. We are not really interested in the angle associated with it, because generally this is a complex number, right? As I said, whenever you have a complex number, then the complex number has magnitude and phase. But here we would like to evaluate only magnitude and not about phase. So we are not going to look at phase. We would like to know only the magnitude in our problem. Therefore, take the magnitude of this h of j n omega naught. Take magnitude of that. This is 1 divided by square root of 1 plus 25 n square. So this is my magnitude. So we know the amplitudes of each one of these harmonic terms. We know the magnitude of the system function, because your V naught of t is equal to magnitude of h of j n omega naught times your V naught, sorry, Vi. This Vi contains many terms, okay? You consider single term at a time. You apply DC and what is the corresponding output, all those things like that. Now in the expression we have 31 by 8. Where is it? Sorry, 100 by pi. 100 pi by is 31.8. Okay, so let me write down this expression once again so that we can work out this. So Vi of t is equal to 100 by pi, that is 31.8 volts, plus 50 sine omega t, omega naught t, plus minus 200 by 3 pi. I may put minus here. Yes. Minus cos of 3 omega naught t, then minus is it even harmonics or odd harmonics? I think these all are 1 minute, hold on, I got confusion. Which one is that? If this all are even components, I'm sorry. If it is even components, okay, I got it. I'm sorry. This is 2 omega naught t. So this expression also I need to change it because I wrote it wrongly. So this is not 2, 3, that is 2, and this is not 5, and this is 4. Even harmonics present, of course. Fine. Now cos 2 omega naught t minus 200 by 15 pi cos of 4 omega naught t minus and so on and so forth. Okay, plus other terms. Now what you do, you take this Vi of t and give it to the circuit like RC circuit if you want to find out what is it. Now if you apply 31.8 to the system, then the output is h of jn omega naught times 31.8. What is the frequency in this? Omega naught is equal to 0 because it is a DC term. So h of n omega naught is equal to 1 by square root of 1 plus 25n square times 31.8. If we substitute n is equal to 0, then again in the output also you will get 31.8. So input is 31.8 volts and the output also 31.8 volts. Now you apply 50 times sine of omega naught t to the same system. What is the output? Now here n is equal to 1 in this, right? N omega naught t, n is equal to 1. Therefore 1 divided by square root of 1 plus 25, 1 square 25 times 50 times sine omega naught t. So this is 1 over root of 26, 50 times sine omega naught t, 50 by root of 26. Okay, so that will be around 21 point. Wait a minute. No, that is 9.8 volts. You can check. Okay, 9.8 times 9.8 times sine omega t. See, the input is 50 volts times sine omega t, but to the RC circuit, okay, but the output is only 9.8 volts. Previously we have given 38 volts, the same 38 volt is appearing here. Now take the same RC circuit. Now the input is the second term. What is the second term? Minus 200 by 15 pi times cos 4 omega t. So 200 by 15 pi cos this term 200 by 3 pi. Cos 2 omega t, omega naught t. What is the n value here? N value is equal to 2. This is given as an input, and output is mod of h of j omega n. N is 2. Take magnitude, and the input is 200 by 3 pi cos of 2 omega naught t. What is this guy? 1 divided by square root of 1 plus 25n square, where n is 2. 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 25, 100. So this is 100. Okay. 1 by square root of 1 plus 100 times 200 by 3 pi times cos of 2 omega naught t. So what is the output? 1 divided by square root of 101. In the numerator multiply by 200 by 3 pi cos of 2 omega naught t. If you simplify, then you can verify this, okay? 2.11 times cos of 2 omega naught t. The input signal is this guy, 200 volt by 200 by 3 pi volts, but the output is very less, 2.11 volt cos 2 omega naught t. Now you take the another term in the series. What is another term? This guy, 200 by 15 pi. 200 over 15 pi cos of this time 4 omega naught t, and you apply the same system which consists of resistor and capacitor, same value, and the output is simply its system function or frequency response function, okay, n omega naught h of j times 4 omega naught magnitude, then the input 200 by 15 pi cos of 4 omega naught t. Now this is, you know that 1 divided by square root of 1 plus 25 5 n square, where n is equal to 4 now by this time. So 4 times 4 hold on 1 second. My battery is low. So 5n square, then 1 second, where is the function? This is 25n square, that's, I'm sorry, 25n square, 1 plus 25n square. So now n is 4 times 4 16 times 25, it is 400. So 400 times 200 by 15 pi cos of 4 omega naught t. Now if we simplify this, then it is going to be 0.21 volt times cos of 4 omega naught t. Now as per the superposition theorem, you add all the inputs. The input is 31.8 plus what is that? Cos omega naught t, the first harmonic, 50 times sin omega naught t, right? 50 times cos omega naught t plus where is it? Yeah, it's here. All are minus 200 by 3 pi cos 2 omega naught t minus 200 by 5 pi cos of 4 omega naught t plus, and so on so forth. Now the output is summation of the all responses. So 31.8 comes as 31.8, and this 50 cos omega naught t comes as 9.8 volts times cos of omega naught t, and this guy becomes 2.11 volts times cos of 2 omega naught t second harmonics minus 0.21 times cos of 4 omega naught t. You can notice that the 31 point, the input and output 31 point is coming as it is, but this 50 volt becomes 9.8 volts, no problem considerably, but this guy 200 by 31, that is roughly how much? Input, right? That is roughly 21 volts. This is 21.2 volts. and this one is roughly 4.24 volts. The input 4.24 volts, but the output is 0.21 volts. And here the input is 21.2 volts, but in the output you have only 2 volts. And here the input is 50 volts, 50 volt becomes 9.8 volt. Therefore, for higher frequencies it is reducing significantly. We can, if you want, we can put it in the tabular form, like input, the input is 31.8 volts, then 50 volt, 21.2 volt, 4.24 volts, then your h of j omega, j n omega. Okay, here n is equal to 0, n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, and n is equal to 4. You can make a tabular column like this. Okay, so this becomes 1 when n is equal to 0, 1 over root of 26, 1 over root of 101, and this is 1 over 401. And the output voltage is 31.8 volt as it is. Then this 50 volt becomes 9.8 volts, 21.8 volt becomes 2.11 volt, and this 4.824 volt becomes 0.21 volts. The amplitude of DC, there is only one quantity. Okay, we do not have to talk about amplitude, so it comes as it is. But when we talk about the amplitude of fundamental component, and the second harmonic component and the fourth harmonic component, then there are significant harmonics that are present here in the input. Okay, so the input voltage has a DC component which is 100 by pi, that is 31.8 volts. When you apply a DC input here to, this is a RC filter by the way. RC filter, if you apply a DC voltage, then what is the frequency? Omega equal to 0. Then this capacitor will act as a open circuit for DC component. So whatever you apply, that comes in the output, it will not go to the ground. So when you apply a DC voltage to the input, the same DC comes out across this point, let's say A and A dash, and therefore that is equal to 1. That is why we put 1 here, transfer function is 1. The input output ratio is 1. So this RC circuit here essentially act as a filter. You have an input voltage which is non-sinusoidal, which is rectified sine wave, half wave rectified sine wave. So the input is half wave rectified sine wave. Okay, and we would like to have a filter like this to swamp out the ripples. Okay, our job is swamp out the ripples as much as possible. So all the AC components should be reduced to the extent possible. So, and we would like to have the output to be as pure a DC as possible. Now, how good is the filter? How good is the filter? In this case, the input, like if you consider, the input is 31.8, the same 31.8 you are getting. Okay, so there is no reduction, it is coming as it is. But the harmonic components are quite substantial. Here you have 50 volt at the frequency of omega naught, but the output is 9.8 volts. And input is 21.2 volts and output is 2.11 for second harmonics. And for third harmonic, input is 4.24 volts, output is 0.21 volt. As far as the input is concerned, the harmonic amplitudes are brought down considerably compared it with DC. In the DC, it is coming as it is, but if you compare the AC components, it is brought down. Therefore, this is a good filter as far as the suppression of the various harmonic components are concerned. Okay. Therefore, we had set up the Fourier series earlier in terms of trigonometric functions, and then from the trigonometric function, using that we can express a non-sinusoidal function or non-sinusoidal periodic function in terms of sinusoidal functions. Here the input is half wave rectified function. It is not it is again periodic, but it doesn't have any symmetry conditions like odd function or even function like that. So that is why we break this into even part and odd part, and once you break that, then you express the corresponding Fourier series, and that Fourier series expression is like this. Now this we are applying to the system and we try to find the output. Okay, so this is the RC filter. So generally you take a rectifier circuit. In electronic circuits, the power comes from the mains, let's say 230 volts, phase and a neutral. You give to half a rectifier, and then you put a filter, and that filter is DC current or DC voltage, and that is given to your electronic circuits, or you can give it to the battery, to storage, or whatever it is given. For everywhere your generally we will not use half wave rectifier, we will use full wave rectifier, FWR. But this is a typical block diagram. You have the rectifier followed by filters. Therefore the filter will will try to smooth the signal. That means what? There should not be any ripples, there should not be any variations. DC means it should be a constant. That means what? Wherever there is a variation, that variation should be removed. So that's what happened here. Okay, see here at high frequency, at frequencies like here the frequency is 4 omega naught, and here 2 omega naught, and here omega naught. When the frequency is omega naught, input is 50 volt, output is 9.8 volts. At frequency 2 omega naught, that is 100 hertz, F naught equal to 100 hertz, input is 21.2 volts, output is 2.11 volts. Right? When the frequency is 4 times omega naught, that means 200 hertz. For 200 hertz input, the input voltage is 4.24 volt, but output is very less. That means the filter tries to remove the oscillations, ripples. These are called ripples. Whenever you find some variations, that variations it is trying to remove, and you will get as pure as possible. So that is why this 0.21 is very less. Okay, so let me stop at this point. So in the next lecture we will study about exponential Fourier series. Okay, so that is an alternative way of setting up the Fourier series. Till now we looked at trigonometric Fourier series. Next we will move on to exponential Fourier, that we will discuss in the next lecture. Okay, thank you very much.